Hello, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, let me explain Kundalini Yoga. It's a little different than other yogas. First, let me explain how this works and some of the definitions, and then I'll explain the purpose of the practice and kind of get you ready for what to expect. Kundalini is often misunderstood. It is a whole system. It's described as the serpent or snake inside your energy system and your chakras. It's considered the dormant spiritual force located at the base of your spine. And the goal is to get this rising all the way up through our crown, the top of our head. So some have described this as a serpent, as you just heard me say, like a snake, and it's coiled at the base of your spine near your root chakra or near the root chakra, and it emerges through each layer of your chakras and your energy body. So the chakras that we're going to focus on are in the Kundalini practice for spiritual is the eight of the chakras. These are energy fields within our body that navigate our system, the flow of our energy. That's what chakras do. Often in our human experience, our chakras can become over or underused. And that's because our chakras are receiving energy all day long as we go through our days. And so you'll hear some people say, like, oh, my throat chakra is blocked, or they're feeling ungrounded. These are all expressions of how it can feel. And when we're integrating this into our systems, we're going to be balancing these out and bringing a release of this energy. And so sometimes if you have an excess of it, that can be a block. Sometimes it can be an underuse of it, and it's just lethargic in this area of your life, right? So when we're looking at this, we have our root chakra, which is the first chakra, and that would be, what we're all referencing to as like red, right? So there's always these colors associated with them. And I go into each chakra before we start each practice. So don't worry about it right now. But then we go to our sacral, our solar plexus, our heart, our throat, our third eye, our crown, and then our aura. So kriya is a sequence of postures, breath work, sounds, movements. It's the actual sequence of the poses and activity to stimulate these different chakra areas. And so what you're going to see is we go through this cadence, if you will. So there's like this meditation, which a meditation is really important in Kundalini Yoga. It's a beautiful integration of stillness, and it increases our whole experience and awareness. So in Kundalini Yoga, when you fully embrace, it is considered a very intense yoga. Not because of poses and doing crazy things like that or intense, like 300 poses, but because of the complete system transformation. So you always want to make sure that you consult with a medical doctor before doing your practice, and make sure you scan your body before practice and you're able to be free and aware of all physical health impairments or opportunities. And if you feel any discomfort at any time, physically, emotionally, there is no pressure to continue. Simply pause, scan your system, and breathe in full awareness of your experience. It's not a race, right? And you don't have to force your body. In fact, that's going to be counterproductive. So that's why you see people doing yoga for years. I've been doing yoga since 1998. And even then, you're not going to see me, like, depending on how my body and energy is flowing, there are some positions that it's like, yeah, I might have been able to do it last week, but I can't this week, right? And that's listening to your body. So this is aimed at being a spiritual practice, activating your Kundalini energy. So the chakra energy is an energy force that many of us reference as male and female labels, or described as like positive and negative. Let's just be transparent. There is no male or female energy or positive or negative energy. It just is. It's just energy. However, this helps express an understanding for us. So at times you might hear me reference positions for a male or a female. This is not about identity. It's about that type of energy so that you can kind of have some correlation and a construct for it. So for example, if you were sitting, or like when we go to sit up from like a laying pose, you might hear me say something at the end of like the female energy would be on the left side, the masculine energy on the right side. So you might like choose to get up on the right side, or you might choose to get up on the left side. It's up to you. When you get up into these positions of this energy, you choose the place with your intention. So I just want to clear that up too, because I remember when I first started being like, wait, what? Because I'm a girl, I'm supposed to do what? And then it was like, as I became a yoga teacher, I was like, oh, I wish someone had explained that to me. But here's how the practice is going to go. We will always start with a journaling. Our journaling sets the intention for your session. This deepens your experience. Like I said, it's a commitment to your growth and understanding of the experience and intention of what you're going into. Because each chakra has several categories, if you will, that can be unpacked. And so you might have, like, maybe you're working on your root chakra, and that's because you're dealing with some financial stuff, right? So you're going to set different intentions, even though we're all working on the root chakra. So I just wanted to explain that too. And that's why we start with the journaling, so you can have a clear intention as you go into your practice. And each of you will have a different experience at different times. Again, this is not a race. It is not, oh, I raised my Kundalini in a week, or it took me 10 years. It doesn't matter. It's a journey. Don't force it, let it flow. And once you reach Kundalini, it's not a permanent state. It is an experience that dissipates. And once you reach Kundalini, this is something else people think, you actually start over. So think of it as like with sex, right? This is the easiest way of explaining it. An orgasm is like this energy shooting through your system. And then once the experience is over, it's over. You have the experience, you remember how it feels, you remember what you were thinking, you remember how your body felt, your emotions felt, all of these things. That's what happens when you have your Kundalini rise. I'm not saying it's the exact same experience, but what I'm saying is that's the closest thing I can give you to explain it. And actually, while we're on it, a lot of people also like think that it's like tantric, and they'll like explore Kundalini sex. And just to be clear, the idea of Kundalini sex is not to have an orgasm. So if that's something in your mind, like, there you go. Sorry, that's the deal. It's not to have one. It's to keep all that energy inside you. And so when you do have an orgasm, it releases the energy. And the idea is to harness the energy. Hopefully that helps. Okay, back to what we're doing though. So we're going to start our practice with the journal mantra and a warm up of our physiology through Hatha and Kundalini Yoga. And that's shifting into our kriya, and followed by a relaxation and meditation. So you're going to notice that mantras are used often in Kundalini Yoga, and you always want to start with a mantra. And the mantra I'm going to give you, it means I bow to the infinite creative consciousness, and I bow to the divine teacher within. This is to open your mind to the acceptance of higher consciousness and a deeper experience. So you'll hear me say Om Nam Guru Dev Namo when we start. That's what it means. And as you get used to hearing it, you'll start saying it with more ease. So don't worry about that. It starts to flow and get this beautiful tone to it. Warm ups, though, they prepare our body for the kriya. So the poses, the breathing, the mantras, it's all designed to help balance your chakras and the area of focus we're on that day. So the kriya is a sequence, like I said, of movements that align with that focus area. And then when we move into the relaxation, these are things that we're going to do at the end of the kriya. And what it does is it assists us with the integration of our physiology. And so you'll see that we'll have poses about the relaxation. You might have prompts for breathing, all these different things. Um, do not fall asleep during this time. Sometimes that happens, especially depending on your time zone. These lives might be very early for you. Don't fall asleep. The intent is to stay awake. It's just resting. So at the end, though, we will do a meditation. And this is to seed this into our mind to alleviate any patterns and while setting new ones. And it helps cement our experience, if you will, allowing your mind to settle into the new information and a deeper state of consciousness. This meditation experience is important for integration, receiving messages, increasing awareness, and promoting this inner peace and harmony, especially since you just did an entire practice with intention. And it's so powerful at the end with the meditation. When we wrap up, you will hear a couple other mantras. One is going to be, may the sun shine upon you, love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you way on, right? And then Sat Nam, I am truth. Truth is my essence. So that's kind of like how the whole practice goes. Trying to think of anything else. Oh, two things to keep in mind. 2 hours before you practice, don't eat. It can make it very uncomfortable for you. You might be doing positions that you're like rotating your abdomen, um, and it can just make you uncomfortable. Like if you're doing like downward dog, right? And you've got your whole digestive system is coming through your throat, like that's not comfortable. So you want to make sure that you haven't eaten for 2 hours before you practice. And a big thing that most people don't do, which I'm like, you have to drink water. I know that some people will be like, oh, drink 32 ounces of water. Is a state of dehydration, just to be clear. So that's like the base minimum for functioning. What we're talking about here, when I'm saying like drink water, drink water, drink water, as you start to practice, you will notice you drink more and more water. You should be drinking half the amount of your weight in water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to be drinking 100 ounces of water. If you weigh, I don't know, 60 pounds, then I guess you could get away with 32 ounces of water. But here's the deal. Kundalini Yoga is a huge energy. It is on your brain, your nervous system, your physical system, and your physiology. And your brain actually consumes more energy than physical movements when it's in these deeper states. And at the same time, this energy, it's just such a high usage in Kundalini. And at this is releasing a lot of things into your system, right? And so we don't want our nervous system to get clogged up, our digestive and detox and all these different things. We want everything working properly. So it's really important to drink half your body weight in water and stay well hydrated every single day. Let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think that that pretty much covers everything to kind of give you a good understanding of what this experience is going to be like. Um, wear comfortable clothes. You will see often I'm dressed in solid white, and that's because in a Kundalini practice, Kundalini practitioners often wear pure white, pure cotton, all these things. And you might be wondering why, kind of like that eighth chakra I was talking about, right? Like these are things that not everyone talks about, but they're in Kundalini yoga. And so when you're seeing me practice, I will always be in 100% organic cotton, pure white. This is because of energy reflection, right? And so it's working with your auric energy and how the energy is flowing and moving. And so you can do that if you would like. There is no pressure to do it. The main point is coming and showing up. When you're going through this journey, you will continue to have experiences that go, yeah, maybe now I'm feeling this urge to wear white. Maybe now's the right time to wear white. Maybe now's the right time that I'm using incense, right? Maybe there's just these different experiences you're going to go through as you evolve. Your diet, your way you handle stress and anxiety, your physical energy state. That's one that throws a lot of people off. You end up, which is funny because I just told you how much energy it takes to do Kundalini yoga. At the same time, you will see a lot more energy in your system because you are moving it around. You're removing blockages, you're balancing over exertions, like you're aligning your chakras. And the more you align this energy, the more you're releasing the natural flow. And as you're releasing the natural flow, you're going to just as a byproduct have more energy. So you still want to make sure that you're getting enough actual sleep at night. But I see people's eating patterns change. You might not want junk food anymore. You might not be able to eat out. You might get like lean towards more of a clean diet or a liquid diet. All these things, just so you know, are not abnormal. And yes, for some people, it's a phase. And that once they move through that, they go back to maybe eating solid foods or eating heavy foods. Just the whole concept is being intentional with these thoughts and these experiences and listening to your intuition for what is needed for your journey. And I hope you enjoy every single session, and I look forward to seeing you live.